Good evening and welcome to Nash Community College and new student orientation for fall 2023. My name is Renee Martinez. I'm the Executive Director of Advising Services and I will be leading this session today. But before I get started, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Lou Honeycutt, our President, to give you a few words of welcome.
Well, good evening. We're so glad you're here. Number one, thanks for choosing Nash. This looks a little bit like church with everybody on the back row, but other than that. But no, we're so happy that you're here. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about a lot of things and a lot about not very many things. But something to always think about while you're going to school at Nash or anywhere is there's so much outside the classroom that we want you to get involved with. We have so many services here for just about any need you have. We have 33 clubs that you can join. Don't join all 33, but there's something for everybody here. And there's, to me, that makes a fuller, more round student if you do things outside the classroom too. There are about 420 of us that work here. About half of that's full-time and half's part-time. The only goal we have in our minds is helping you succeed. So I always say to students everywhere, if you don't succeed, it's your fault. We're going to give you everything you need to succeed, and we're going to help you get there. And one of my favorite things is to see you 2 years from now, or maybe a little longer, walking across the stage and graduating. It's one of our favorite times of year. It's a little sad for us because we lose y'all. You go somewhere else. But we certainly want to celebrate with you. So we don't have sports teams. So if you thought we did, I'm sorry, we don't have sports teams. But we have what are called Skills USA teams. And so Skills USA, in a really small nutshell, is a program across the nation. There are about 15,000 chapters. And the goal of it is to instill workforce skills into different classes. Well, there's also a state competition and a national competition. If you win a gold medal at state, you go to nationals. And then you can win gold, silver, bronze at nationals. We this year sent 2 students from state to nationals and they won silver, which means they were second in the nation, which is very important to us. As cool to us, we were also named one of 8 schools in the nation it's called a Model of Excellence for Workplace Skills. And when you think about that, I told you how many chapters there were. That puts us in the top 0.01% of schools in the nation. So we're really proud, and it tells you how serious we take getting you ready to succeed no matter what you do when you leave here. So if you have a chance and you want to be involved in Skills USA, there's a club and there's also a team, and we'd like to have you involved in that. So I told you we don't have sports teams, but we do have a mascot. And our mascot is the Nighthawk. So I want everyone, you got to be honest. How many know what a Nighthawk is? But you can't, I know you do. How many students or parents know that? Don't feel bad, no one else does either. I'm not sure why it was chosen other than it starts with an N, but there is a bird called a Nighthawk. And it's a ground-living bird for the most part. It comes out in the evenings. It's kind of in the whippoorwill family. It has this really shrill call. Well, about 2 years ago, we decided we needed our Nighthawk to have a call. And so we adopted a call that I'm going to teach y'all. And what I will tell you tonight, I am compelled to answer it when I hear it, no matter where I am. And so to give you a good example of that, over Christmas break, I was in the Piggly Wiggly in Nashville. And the lines were long, and I got in the line with my cart, and there were probably 6 or 7 or 8 other people in front of me. Well, from the front of the line, I hear this call. Well, I'm compelled to answer, right? So without explanation or telling anybody, I answer right back. Everyone in that line turned and stared at me like I'd lost my mind. So I had to explain to them what I was doing. I walk around this campus every day. I pride myself on taking some time out and just walking around campus. If I hear you say it, and I'm old, so you got to make sure I hear you. But if I hear you say it, I will answer you back. I can say this now because he was here. But if the President of the United States was standing with me, and 2 months ago he was, if he was here standing with me and I hear it, I'm going to do it right back. And then I want to turn to him and explain what I'm doing. And I give a lot of tours around campus with who I call VIPs. And every time I hear it, I say it, and then I have to explain to them. To a T, they say, that's really incredible that y'all do that. It's just fun. So I'm going to teach it to y'all, and then it's a test, and you got to say it back to me. And then just remember, anytime I hear it, I will say it back. So our Nighthawk call is a little different than the shrill one. It goes like this. Caw-caw, caw-caw. That's our Nighthawk call. So I'm going to count to 3, and everyone in here has got to say it back to me. Or say it to me, then I'll say it back. So, and you've got to be loud. 1, 2, 3. That's just as bad. Come on, wake up. 1, 2, 3.
Caw-caw.
Yours wasn't even loud.
Well, that's because I'm standing right beside you. I didn't want to bust your eardrum.
We'll get y'all one more time. Y'all can do better on that.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Caw-caw.
Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Well, listen, with that, I'll let y'all get to the meat of the thing. But again, we are here to help. Again, all 420 of us are here to help. Please ask for the help that you need. Whatever it might be, we can help you with that. We have what we call a culture of blue love around here, and we mean it. We care that you're here. We care about you. We're glad that you're here, so thank you for choosing Nash. So with that,
All right.
I will turn it back over to you, and I'll go give some tours.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
All right,
Honeycutt.
thank y'all for being here.
All right. So, just a little bit about Nash Community College. We were founded in 1967, and we have an open doors admission policy, which is great because that means that we get to serve all citizens of our community, and we get to take them from wherever they are and help them to grow in their educational and career journeys and take them as far as they would like to go. So we have about 125 acres of property. That sounds like a lot to me because I'm not, that just sounds like a lot. Well, we are constantly adding to our campus. And so in the near future, we will be adding a driving pad for our CDL training so that they can practice parking and turning. But the driving pad will also allow our emergency management vehicles to also do training. So our fire trucks, our EMS, and our police cars will be able to go out there and do training as well. So it's a really exciting thing that's coming to Nash to help expand the services we offer here. We offer 54 degree programs, and within those degree programs, we offer 17 diploma programs, and we offer 76 certificate programs. That's a lot, and that's just on the curriculum side. Our continuing education side has a whole bunch more programs, and we're going to discuss a few in just a minute. We offer over 3,952 courses. And so if you think about it for the size of school we are, that's a lot of classes that we offer students to help them with their careers and whatever their educational goals are. We serve approximately 12,000 citizens each year in the different programs, both continuing education and curriculum. And we even have had students that have taken classes with us as far away as Japan for someone who was deployed in the military and was taking online classes to finish up the degree that they had started. As Dr. Honeycutt mentioned, this summer we did have the privilege of having First Lady Dr. Jill Biden and President Joe Biden visit our campus. They were over in the Advanced Manufacturing Building, learning more about our programs and how we connect students to careers in advanced manufacturing. Nash Community College is the only community college in the state of North Carolina that has ever had a sitting First Lady and President visit campus at the same time. So that's pretty cool. And as he mentioned, we are a Skills USA Model of Excellence school that we are very proud of, and we continue to hope that our Skills USA teams grow, and they will grow by you joining them and competing, and maybe you'll bring home the gold medal next year. You never know. Continuing education, our continuing education program allows students to earn credentials for workforce in a very short amount of time. And so I'm not going to read all those on the screen because y'all can see them, but if you're interested in nursing, you will need to take our CNA course through continuing education before you apply to the nursing program. That's one. But if you are interested in emergency management, you may want to attend our Emergency Dispatch Academy. Get into the field early while you're continuing to earn your degree. If you're interested in cybersecurity, you could do our IT Academy for cybersecurity. Again, get the credential earlier while you are working towards your degree. So it's awesome. It allows you to learn new skills or better the skills you currently are in a short amount of time. So you can go to our website and see the whole list of career in a year opportunities that we have at Nash Community College. So one thing that we like to do, and one thing we're going to begin talking about, is educational planning. So as a student, what we want you to do is we want you to find a career that inspires you, that is based on your interest. You can make a lot of money, but if you wake up every day and you are miserable and you don't want to get out of bed and you're like, ugh, I got to go to work today. Now, we all have days, right? But if that's your day every day, then the amount of money you make really doesn't matter. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the careers you're choosing follow along with your passions and your interest. And so we do career inventories in our first year success class just to make sure you're on the right track. We also have a career placement center that can also work with you in that. So one thing that we really want you to do as a student is once you decide on your program of study, you need to follow the program of study, because our goal is, like Dr. Honeycutt said, graduation is bittersweet, right? We've gotten to know you as students, you've gotten to know us, but at graduation, you go out into the world and you either transfer to a university or you go into the workforce, or maybe both. But we want to make sure you do it in a timely manner. So following a checklist is crucial. And so I'm going to show you one of our checklists, which is accounting and finance. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is, oh, I've already blown it up. Awesome. The notes column. So this is one of our classes, and it says spring only. What does that mean? Spring only. It's only in spring. Very good. And so if you don't take it spring of 2024, what has just happened? You got to wait till next spring, so you've delayed your graduation, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that you are on track to graduate. We don't want to delay your graduation because you missed a class. And so you're all new students, and you probably had to register with an advisor. And the reason why we put that flag on your account is so that you don't get off track, and so that you stay on track for graduation, and that you see where it's spring only or fall only. Some classes, it's offered both semesters, but in the fall, it's in the classroom, and it's the spring, it's online. And you're like, you know what? I need to be in the classroom to learn. So we would schedule that for a fall class. All right. Also, it gives us a lot of information for prerequisites. So you'll notice that ACC 180 has a prerequisite of ACC 120. So as an advisor and as a student, you want to make sure you take that in the fall so that you can take the ACC 180 in the spring. Again, we don't want to delay your graduation. And so these checklists are very helpful because they help you make sure you stay on track towards your graduation. So one thing that we do. Another thing that we do in regards to your educational planning is your syllabus. Your syllabus is how your teacher lets you know his or her expectations for the class. And so for consistency, Nash Community College has a master syllabus template. So you know where to find this information in all your classes, regardless of who your teacher is. And so some important things to pick up is it's really important to know which syllabus you're looking at. So at the very top of all of them is the course name. It's also important to know where you're going and who you're meeting, because you don't want to show up in the wrong class on the wrong day. I mean, you can, but that's not very helpful. Then you get information about your instructor, which is very helpful, where their office is located, their email address, when their office hours are. There's some other course description. You know, you want to make sure that you are taking the course that's appropriate for your thing. Always important to know your learning objectives. What are you supposed to learn in this class according to the state of North Carolina? The other one is your course grade. All right. So a lot of students kind of skip over that part. And most classes don't have the same weight for all of their assignments. So for example, your quizzes might be worth 15%. Your midterm might be worth 15%. I'm an English major, not a math major, so I'm doing math in my head. So, and then your projects total 40%, and then your final exams 30%. All right, I figured out that's real easy math. So if you don't do well on a quiz, or a smaller assignment, it's not going to completely destroy your grade. So it's really important that you look at how your courses are, how your grade's broken down. We are on a 10-point scale, which we moved to several years ago. So if you're used to the high school scale, then that's very familiar. And then it just goes through other things. One thing that I do want everyone to be aware of is that Nash Community College is an attendance-taking institution, and it's spelled out in every syllabus that you will get. And what that means is, number one, attendance is important. Students who attend class are more likely to be successful than students who have erratic attendance. But for Nash Community College, if you do not attend for 2 consecutive weeks, your instructor has to administratively withdraw you from the class. All right? We don't want that to happen, and we've got lots of supports and resources in place to help prevent that. All right? So just know that attendance is very important. Keeping in communication with your instructor for why you are absent is also very important, because sometimes life happens and you have to miss class, but we don't want to. For online classes, what it means is that you have to submit an assignment every week, because submitting an assignment in an online class is your attendance and part of your grade. So just make sure that you follow that. All of these syllabus should be linked in your Moodle course, which I'll explain in a little while, which means you will have the hyperlinks for college expectations and all of our resources. Another thing that we have at the very bottom of the syllabus is a course schedule. This is where your instructor will give you due dates, course topics. Are the due dates set in stone? No, because again, life can happen, right? I mean, if your instructor got sick, or let's say your class really grasped a concept and they were able to move faster, or they need a little bit more time in something, so they can adjust it, but it helps you for time management. It lets you plan ahead to know, all right, I'm taking 4 classes, I'm going to have tests and quizzes here and projects due here, so I need to work on making sure that I get them all done at the same time. So this is a very helpful link that's in the syllabus, or a very important part of the syllabus. This is very hard to read, but when you go into self-service, which is where you will find your schedule, please pay attention to these 2 columns, because they give you the times that your class is meeting and where. And so if you have not already gone to see where your classes are located, it's always a really good idea to come and find them before classes start. Most of our classes do begin next Tuesday, August 15th. But we have some late start classes. So you may have classes that don't start until the 29th or sometime in October. So just paying attention to when classes start is very important. So one of the classes, the flag that you get when you register for classes, is an ACA flag. That is our first year experience class. All right? And it's very important that you take that in your first semester. And the reasons why it is important is because in that ACA class, you do a lot of things that will help you be successful here as a student and beyond. So one thing that they do is they do a career planning or a career exploration assignment. And that's where you can, like I mentioned earlier, go in and you explore different careers, making sure you're in the right track for you and your interests. They also discuss skills like study skills, test-taking skills, time management skills. How many of you are procrastinators? All right. I've taught the class several times, and every time I teach it, I find a new little time management tool that helps me be a little bit better at not procrastinating, but, you know, I'm still a work in progress. And then the best thing that we do, not the best thing, one of the greatest things we do in this class is we do semester by semester planning. Why is this important? Those checklists that I showed you a few minutes ago, those are for students who are full-time students. A lot of you may not be able to attend full-time. You may only be able to attend part-time because you have outside obligations. You may work. You may be a caregiver for a member of your family. You may know that 4 classes is just too much for you and you need to scale back. And that's okay. The semester by semester planning assignment allows you to take whatever is best for your educational journey and map it all the way out so you can see how long it's going to take you. And if it takes you 4 years to get an associate's degree, that's okay, because that may have been what was best for you. And you should never compare your educational journey to somebody else's, because you don't know what their life is like and they don't know what your life is like. So if it takes you a little bit longer, that's okay. You're still in the end going to have that degree and walk across that stage, and we'll celebrate you and cheer loudly and all that kind of good stuff. So if you are not signed up for ACA in your schedule, please make sure that you contact your advisor and get that put on your schedule. If you're transferring to a university, our goal here is to help you transfer with as many credits as possible so that you go in as close to a junior as you can. And so what an advisor is going to ask you is, what is your plan what's your major or your plan when you go to your university, and what university do you plan to attend? Because if you're planning to attend one of the 16 universities in the University of North Carolina system, we have a great document that takes you there. I'm choosing East Carolina because I'm an ECU grad. Let's see. All right, I'll choose English because that's what I got my degree in. And what the universities have done is to really make sure that you are transferring credit for credit. So on the left-hand side, the ECU course, this is if you went in as a freshman at ECU, and these are the courses you would take. But on the right-hand side, that's the side that we like, and that's the side we look at, because your English 111 is going to go as their English 100, 1100, all right? Transfers course for course. Your math is going to go as a math class. Your foreign language is going to go as a foreign language. So it really helps for us to know where you want to go and what degree you want to pursue. But if you don't know these things, that's okay, because we can have a generic plan for the first semester until you figure out where you want to go to college, because a lot of universities want the same types of classes that first semester. So don't worry if you're like, I'm transferring to a university, but I have no idea what I want to major in, and I have no idea where I want to go to school. It's okay. We'll take care of you. All right, so financial aid. What I'm going to talk about now is not how to apply for financial aid. You need to go to our website and complete the FAFSA form. What I'm going to talk about is, how do you keep financial aid? All right, so we have something called satisfactory academic progress. And in satisfactory academic progress, you are showing this college that you are taking classes, you're progressing towards your degree, you're being successful in those classes. Okay? Unsatisfactory academic progress is when your completion rate differs from the rate that you tried for the classes. Okay? And the reason why is that you've withdrawn from classes or you have failed classes, and we don't want to fall into unsatisfactory academic progress. We have a lot of supports to help you from doing that. But it's important for you to know that this could happen. Now, one way is if you are administratively withdrawn because you missed those 2 weeks of class, right? Well, if you're in communication with your instructor and you tell them what's going on, I always hate to use this example because I'm always afraid that someone's going to come back to me and say, you like jinxed me or something. But if you were in a car accident and you couldn't come to class for 2 weeks, if you don't tell your instructor, they have no idea. They think you're just not coming to class. But if you can keep in communication with them, then maybe they can work something out so that you can still get your assignments turned in, so that you can get credit in different ways, so that you don't have a withdrawal on your account. All right? But if life does happen to you, and life does sometimes, unfortunately, the best thing for you to do is to keep any documentation that you have that would show why you either withdrew from the class or you failed the class, so that you can submit an appeal. Because we do want you to be successful here. All right, so I've mentioned one of these, talk to your instructor. Make sure you keep in communication with them if you feel like you are falling behind. Talk to a success coach or an advisor. Talk to financial aid. They're a great resource. They can tell you different things. All right. Visit our tutoring centers. We have lots of tutoring centers. The math tank is right on the other side of this wall. The STIL, which is our science and learning lab, is right above us. We have an English studio and a digital learning center that we'll discuss in a minute. But we have lots of resources on campus to help you be successful. So reach out to those. And then you won't, like I said, you want to keep your stuff. And if you have to withdraw, you have to withdraw. But we want to try our best to keep you from having that as an option. Scholarships. Okay, so everyone should apply for scholarships. All right? Even if you think that you are not going to receive FAFSA because of your income or your parents' income, you still need to complete the FAFSA form because that is the first step in being able to apply for scholarships. Every year, I get an email or a call from the scholarship office, and they're like, do you know anyone who needs a scholarship? Because we have money to give. All right? So you fill the FAFSA, and then you go to our financial aid's webpage, and you click on that blue button and complete the application. The great thing that they've done here at Nash is they've made one application for the scholarship. So you don't have to sift through all the scholarships that we offer and say, do I qualify for this one? Or do I qualify for this one? You don't have to worry about that. They do it for you. You just have to fill out the application. So it may be too late for the fall, but there's always a spring. So go into the website and see what you can find and hopefully apply for scholarships. All right, I've talked a whole bunch and I've talked really fast. So are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Transportation. What do you offer as transportation?
Have you seen my PowerPoint? Because we're going to get to that. No. Yeah, we will. I'll discuss transportation, our options in just a minute. Okay? Any other questions? Yes.
How long does the scholarship application go for? Is it just per year or is it indefinite?
No, it's one. You have to reapply every year. So you have to fill out your FAFSA every year. And so when you fill out the FAFSA, so this is the way I tell students. When you do your taxes, as soon as you finish doing your taxes, do your FAFSA. As soon as you finish doing your FAFSA, do the scholarship application. And then it's just like a step-by-step process. And that way, you know it's there. And then when it comes time for them to award it, you don't have to think about, did I apply or did I not apply? So those are the steps that I would take.
So how do you find the status of your FAFSA application?
So in self-service, which is one of our technology tools, there is a place in there for financial aid, and you just click on that, and it gives you your status of whether you are eligible to receive a Pell Grant or a loan or a scholarship. So it's all in that one spot. Great questions. Any more? Okay, so technology at Nash. These are just some of the things that we have for students to be successful. So Moodle is our online learning management system. It is where if you're taking online classes, the online class information will be housed. We are a Gmail Google Suite school, and I'll go a little bit more in depth about, but that is where your email is. Self-service is where you find out those financial aid, finance type things, your schedule. And then Watermark is our early retention software, which I'll discuss a little bit more in a minute. So we take your privacy and security very seriously here at Nash Community College. And so we require all students and faculty and staff to have multi-factor authentication to enter into our portals because we do not want information to be hacked. And you don't want your information to be hacked. So if you need help setting up your multi-factor authentication, there are steps online to do it. You can email eSupport. They can help you. There's an app. If you don't want the app, you can have them text you the code. That's what I have because I couldn't figure out the app. But you're a lot more tech savvy than me, so I'm sure you got the app under control. And then the other thing we have is single sign-on. And this is great. You sign into your portal once, and then when you click on your email account, you don't have to put your username and password in again. And when you click on Moodle, you don't have to put in your username and password again. It's all right there for you so that you can, you don't have to do different passwords. It's all right there. And when you log into your My Nash, that's the screen you're going to see. And each of those boxes is one of the things that I've discussed that will help you be successful. So Moodle is our learning management system. It is where our online classes are housed. But most of our classes are web enhanced, which means that your instructor will put the syllabus that we looked at a few minutes ago in there, the grade book. So you always need to keep up with your grades. So look at your grade book weekly to make sure that your grades are where you think they are, and if they're not, visit the instructor to see what you can do to improve them. We also have third-party software. So if any of you are taking a math class, you may click on a link that takes you to math labs where you would do your work to help you out. Even if you're not an online class, then your instructor may post resources. All right, so it's always good to check Moodle. I would say check it once a day, once a week, depending on your schedule and your time. But your instructors will provide additional resources in Moodle for you. The other thing is that when you're communicating with Nash Community College employees and staff, faculty, you need to use your student email account. Again, we take security very seriously, and a lot of instructors will not respond to private email addresses because that's how links accidentally get opened and hackers find their way in. And so please use your Nash Community College student email account. I strongly recommend that you check this at least once a day. Sometimes you might need to check it twice a day. Instructors will send you emails. Class may be canceled. They may have found a really cool resource that will help you understand the content that you learned about today, and they just send it to you, so you want to make sure you have all the up-to-date information. Don't ignore NCC PR. We're going to discuss them in a minute because they provide a lot of cool information. But then because we're a Google school, we have access to Google Drive. And if you have not used Google Drive before, I can't stress enough how great it is. When I was in college, we had Microsoft Word, and when a power outage happened, the document I was working on disappeared. There was not recovering it. And I was an English major, so there was lots of papers I wrote that I had to rewrite because I did not save appropriately. Of course, I am also a fast learner, and I learned very quickly that I should be saving like every 15 minutes just in case something happened to my computer. Google saves automatically or saves very, very frequently. So if your power was to go out or you were to close your computer or something like that, you don't have to start all over again. So that's a wonderful thing. Now there will be some classes where, because of the technology used, the Google Suites aren't appropriate, but your instructor will let you know that. Another thing that I've been asked to tell y'all is you only have access to your Nash Community College Gmail account for 1 year after you finish taking classes with us. So please do not upload your wedding photos or your baby photos or important tax documents into the Google Suites because you will not have access to them. And that actually was something that someone requested us to try and retrieve from because they did that. So upload all those wonderful, great memories into a private Gmail account so that you can have them forever. Self-service is an all-in-one registration tool. So you can search for classes, you can check your progress, so you can see how many more classes do I need until I graduate. That kind of helps you plan those things out. You can plan your schedule, you can register for classes after this semester, because remember I said that for this semester you have to register with an advisor. You can locate who your advisor is if you don't know who your advisor is. Pay your bill, view your grades. If your employer or if you're transferring to a university and they want an unofficial transcript as part of your application, here's where you can download one for free. So you don't have to pay for the official one until you graduate. And then you can access your financial aid information. See if you won that scholarship or see if you, got the loan or whatever it is. Watermark is our early retention software. So this is where we use, in combination with the instructors and the coaches and the advisors and all people on campus, Watermark is how we help to ensure you're successful. All right? So if Renee has been attending class regularly for 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden I miss Monday, my instructor is going to notice, all right? And then if I miss Wednesday as well, they're going to think to themselves, something might be going on. Because remember, I only have 2 weeks, which means if I miss next Monday and Wednesday, then I'm out of the class. So the instructor is probably going to contact me, but the instructor is also going to probably put an alert in to have my coach contact me to see what's going on, to see how we can get myself back on track so that I'm successful in their class. So this is not being sent to the principal's office. This is a way for us to help you because life does happen and things do come up, and sometimes we need a little bit of extra support. So reasons why alerts are placed is missing assignments, absences. If something happens, if you tell your teacher something and they think that they need to make a referral to Swell for maybe some of our clinical services, there's that opportunity as well. But when a coach or someone reaches out to you and they call you, pick up the phone. We're nice. We're friendly. All right? If they email you, email us back. All right? Because we're just here to help you. We're here to help you succeed. And one way we do that is through Watermark. All right, so support is key to student success. And Nash Community College has a ton of resources, and we're getting ready to discuss all of those. But an invaluable resource is a resource you have at home. All right, family support really, truly does help students succeed. But college is different than high school. So in high school, if your parents want to know something about your grades or your attendance, they just call up your teacher or your school counselor and have a conversation. That does not happen in college. In college, you have to give us written permission to speak to anyone about your educational records. FERPA is a federal act that all colleges and universities have to abide by. But we have a consent form, and you can fill it out. It's on self-service, and you can fill it out and let other people. There are pros and cons to this. This is a conversation that you have to have with your family at home about whether or not you want to do this. But I will say that in some instances it is very good. So if life does happen to you and you're unable to communicate with us and let us know what's going on, a family member can call and tell us, and then we can help, make sure you can stay in your classes. So if FERPA is something you are interested in, it is underneath in student forms in self-service. All right, so how many of you knew that Nash Community College had their own police department? All right, one person, that's awesome. All right, so we do have our own police department. We have Chief of Police, Sarah Wiggins. We employ Nash County deputies and Nashville police officers to keep our campus safe. The deputies and officers work when classes or other events are happening on campus. You can see what their normal hours are. That's their phone number if you have an emergency, but they're not here if the campus is closed. Obviously, if you have a true medical emergency, the first number you need to dial is 911 because we need to get you medical assistance. But we have a very safe campus. Not only do we have deputies and police officers on our campus, but in our continuing education building, we do lots of training for law enforcement across the state of North Carolina. So at any time there could be a basic law enforcement training class going on. They could be doing continuing education training for highway patrol or another police department in eastern North Carolina. So we have a pretty safe campus. But as always, if you see something, say something, because as safe as it is, we live in a time where things can become unsafe sometimes. One thing that I would strongly recommend everybody do is to sign up for our campus alerts. So a couple of weeks ago when we had that tornado, my cell phone and my emails got several messages, all right, warning us that there was a tornado in the area, letting us know that there was power was out, and then letting us know that campus was closed. due to the tornado. All of that came through my text messages and emails. They send them out for hurricanes, for ice storms in the winter, or if there's any sort of emergency. The other thing that's on this page for campus safety is the Clery Act report. By federal law, we have to publish the Clery Act about any crimes that may have been committed on our campus. So you can read all about that if you want to. All right, again, I've talked a lot, so does anybody want to take a stretch break, or did you come up with another question? I'm going to take a water break. It's a lot of information I'm throwing at you all at one time, I know it. Yes?
So can I just find all this, the stuff you're talking about on the website?
So yes, everything that I've discussed is at different places on the website. I've just compiled it all into one presentation, so you don't have to go around looking for it.
I was talking about you said something about looking at where classes are and stay online.
Yeah, that's in your MyNash portal in self-service.
Is that like on the Google?
No, that is, you would go to our homepage, and then you would click on MyNash portal, and you would click login. And then once you've logged into the system, you would click on self-service, and then that's where you could find out the classes that are being offered in your program of study.
All right.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay. All right, campus resources. Where do I go when I need help? So a lot of people don't like to ask for help, but that's not the culture that we are hoping to create at Nash Community College. We want you to ask for help because we have so many resources to help you. So I'm going to go through several of them. For one, you can go to campus resources on our website, and it will list a ton of resources. So the Advising Center, Bus Services, Career Center, Accessibility Services, Early Intervention, Fitness and Wellness. So Dr. Honeycutt mentioned that he takes a walk every day. We have I believe it's a 1 mile paved walking area, and then we have about 2 miles in the natural area behind us. It's really a lot of fun. And Con Ed, current students that can use our cardio room or our free weights or play basketball in the gym. So there's lots, you gotta have your, physical well-being is just as important as mental well-being. So exercise your body, also exercises your mind. So you can come to this website and see all sorts of great resources that we have for students at Nash Community College. So I've mentioned this term a lot, but you might be thinking, what in the world is a success coach? Who is my success coach? So if you are a special credit student or you are in the collaborative programs, dental hygiene, medical, sonography, nuclear medicine, healthcare, management technology, or biotechnology, I am your success coach. All right? If you are already accepted into our nursing program, our vet tech program, our PTA program, or our medical assisting program, Dana Banning is your success coach. If you are in college transfer, Associate in Arts Teacher Prep, Associate in Science, or Associate in Science Teacher Prep, then Lakeisha Peoples is your success coach. If you're in Applied Engineering or Associate in Science with an engineering concentration, then Jamal Pitt is your success coach. We have currently hired a new success coach. She started this Tuesday, but so new I didn't get her picture up on the slide. But Courtney Blackstock is a success coach for public services, business and information technologies, criminal justice, human service technologies, emergency management. And then coming in a few weeks, we have hired another success coach who will do all of the pre-health science courses. So if you're interested in nursing but you haven't been accepted into the program yet, she would be your success coach. Yeah, same thing for pre-PTA or pre-vet tech or pre-medical assisting. So we're really excited about our success coaches and all they can do to help support our students. But what does your success coach do? So we are there to help you. We are there to be your advocate, but we're also there to help you learn how to advocate for yourself because we're not always going to be with you. We are here to help you learn time management skills and stress management. We are here to help you with study skills. We are here to help connect you to a variety of resources that you may need to be successful at Nash Community College. So if you look at the wheel in the middle, you are the student in the middle, and it is our job to make sure that we connect you to all the things necessary and to make sure that the whole student is being served so that you can learn here at Nash Community College. So I mentioned earlier we have free tutoring services. And so all of our tutoring services, most of them do have virtual appointments. So if you are taking primarily online classes, then we have tutoring services available virtually for you. Our Digital Learning Center is in Building D on the 2nd floor, and they help you with all things technology. So if you're having problems putting a picture into a PowerPoint, or you can't access Moodle, or any of those various technology type of things, they're a tutoring center for you. Our English studio is right beside them, and so our English studio helps with papers, but not just English papers, they help with any paper. So if your history class requires a paper, or your psychology class requires a paper, or if you want to revise your resume to go after a job, they will help you with anything related to writing. Our math tank, which I mentioned earlier, is right behind this wall. They are anything math, all right? They will help you with all of your math classes here at Nash Community College. Same thing for our science upstairs. Any of our science classes, the instructors will help you there. All of our tutoring centers on campus are staffed by instructors and paid professional tutors. So they know how to help you. They have been here for a while, so they know what the instructors expect, and they can kind of help guide you. And we've just acquired a new tutoring service for online called tutor.com. So you'll notice I didn't mention that we have a psychology tutor or an economics tutor or a history tutor. But tutor.com allows us to have those tutoring services for you. It's free of charge to you, but to help you connect with a tutor to get help in those areas. If you're struggling in microeconomics or something like that, then there's a space on tutor.com that you can go and get help for that course. A lot of students forget this, but instructors are an invaluable resource. They want you to succeed. They are passionate about their subject matter. They want to teach you all they can about whatever topic that they love. And so go to their office hours. Talk to them after class. All right? When I was instructor, I would sit during my office hours and no one would come and visit me, and I would be so sad. I got a lot of grading done, but I would still be sad because no one came and visited me. But that is my goal. My goal and their goal is to help you succeed. All right? So go and visit them. It is very important that your instructors learn about you also outside the classroom, because at some point you're going to need a reference. You're going to need a reference for a job application, or you're going to need a reference for maybe transferring to a university. And it's a lot easier if the instructor has gotten to know you and the type of person you are, because you did go and seek help and because you did show an interest in their topic. So think about that our instructors are awesome, and they want to help you. All right, so just like in high school, your parents or guardians could call up to the school and learn all about your stuff, and now their FERPA consent form has to be signed. Receiving accommodations in college is a little bit different than it is in high school. And so if you had an IEP or a 504 in high school, you may want to consider seeking accommodations here at Nash Community College. You have to advocate for yourself. A teacher doesn't do that for you. And so if you have one, it's better to go ahead and talk with Ms. Carter, who is our accessibilities coordinator, about what your options are. And you get to choose what classes know about your accommodations. So if you want your accommodations for English but not for math, you tell her, and that's the only person who knows, okay? But if you did receive accommodations in high school and you think you might need them in college, it's much better to get them in place now than wait until after that first test. And you're like, oh, if I had just had extended time like I had in high school, I would have done much better, okay? And so just like you get to choose what courses, learn about your accommodations, you also have to ask for them every semester. So it's not like it was in high school where they just kind of went from year to year. Every semester you have to request them. Every semester you tell what teachers you want to know about them, and then Ms. Carter works to make that happen, okay? So, you know, and if you were to receive a new diagnosis while you're at Nash Community College that might impact your learning style, then let us know, because we can always adjust the accommodations that you receive. We are here to support all learning styles and needs, but we have to know what they are. So you have to advocate for yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader so that we can help you. All right, student wellness, that's actually where Ms. Carter is housed, is a fantastic resource on campus. They provide confidential mental health services. They do assessments and treatment for anxiety and depression. We have recovery supports and a collegiate recovery program for students. We have a veteran support group for students. We have a victims advocacy for survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. We provide Blue Love resources for emergency assistance. We also provide referrals to helping agencies like shelter, food, and childcare. So if you are through the semester, find yourself and you are, at the beginning of the semester, you had housing, but halfway through the semester, you find yourself and you're no longer have that housing, then we have resources that we can connect you with to make sure that you are in a safe environment. All of these services are provided at no cost to students because, again, we want to serve the whole student. Everything that Swell does is free and confidential. Ms. Carter has to follow HIPAA because she is a clinically licensed social worker. So anything you tell her, she does not repeat to anyone else. Okay? Single Stop is another service inside of Swell. This is a great resource. It helps students apply for SNAP benefits or get recertified for benefits. It helps with finding Medicaid or affordable health care for you. Provides financial counseling, legal referrals. During tax season, we provide free tax prep. So you do your taxes, and then you do your FAFSA, and do your scholarships, right? We already discussed that because it's 3 steps, all right? Again, all this is at no service or no cost to you. The services are provided by the college. We also have referrals for campus resources. So we have a food pantry that is located in our Building D with our student engagement. We have a success closet. We also have a Blue Love Fund so that Rocky Mountain Transit comes to campus. And if you need assistance for bus passes, there's a form you fill out and you can receive some assistance for bus passes. If you drive a car and it's the end of the month and your paycheck did not go as far as you thought it was going to go, we have gas cards for assistance sometimes for students. And then we also have grocery store gift cards if our food pantry isn't enough to help you out. So with our food pantry, the food is donated by faculty and staff and students. I went and gave a huge bag on Monday to help students so that there was plenty of food in the food pantry to start the semester off. I mean, I didn't supply all the food in the food pantry, but students need a referral from Swell to receive the food from the food pantry. This picture right here, Dr. Honeycutt mentioned about getting connected on campus. This is our Physical Therapist Assistance Student Club. They did a food drive. And so they didn't only collect the foods, but now they're helping in this picture to put the foods on the shelves for students who may need them. Our Success Closet is an awesome resource on campus. So when you have that interview, but you may not have appropriate professional dress, you can go into the Success Closet, pick out an outfit, and so you have it for the interview. But the other great thing is that you then have it for the first day of work. You get the job, and now you have a great outfit to wear for that first day. And so, again, it's a great resource on campus to help students both while they're on a student and to get that great job they want. I'm not going to read this whole slide because we've already talked about student engagement. The more you can get connected to campus, the more you will be successful. So join a club, become a member of SGA, talk to your instructors on campus, just become active, and you will see great benefits with your academic work as well. So as Dr. Honeycutt mentioned, we have about 33 clubs on Nash Community College's campus. All of our clubs are student-led, and if you want to have a club and you don't see one, find a faculty or staff to sponsor you, create some bylaws, go and talk to Kara Deans, and we can make it happen. So this next couple of slides are some fun slides, all right? And this is ways that we get students involved. So the picture in the upper left-hand corner is one of our students who participated in Tackle the Tar. The t-shirt that she's pointing to is actually designed by an advertising and graphic design student for that team for that year. The middle picture is one of our drama productions, and then some student clubs are represented. The picture in the upper right-hand corner is one of our fun holiday events. So it was Valentine's Day, and we went into the Hawk's Nest where the student clubs kind of meet, and they had candy for us to create our own little like candy jars, and they just did a lot of fun activities for us. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, that is one of our back-to-school bashes, which will happen in September. That year's theme was superheroes, so you can see Spider-Man kind of over in the corner watching out for us. The picture that is to the right of the Nash logo is our Minority Male Club. They went to a sweet potato farm that is owned by an ex-NFL football player, and they harvested sweet potatoes. They harvested a lot of sweet potatoes. And then they gathered all the sweet potatoes and they came back and they created Thanksgiving baskets for people in need. So that was kind of a cool event. The bottom right picture is our High Altitude Balloon Club. I'm not an engineer, but they create a payload and then they lift it off and they monitor where it goes, and the goal is to see how far it can get. And so we always want to beat out our sister community colleges near us. But I think I've heard that one of the payloads went as far as the Outer Banks at one time. So that was pretty far. So there are lots of ways to get involved, to be active, to have fun. We also do things to bring people together. So once or twice a semester, Dr. Honeycutt has Chat with the Chief. And so with that, he provides lunch. He wants to hear from students. He wants to know how we can make Nash Community College better. What are your interests? What are things that we can do to improve? What do you like about Nash Community College? All right? Anytime there's free food offer, let's go for it. We also have different contests throughout the year. So we had a Juneteenth essay contest. We have an Easter egg hunt, which is very popular. We celebrate Black History Month and Women's History Month. We celebrate our first-generation students. So if you are a first-generation student, in October, we have a whole week dedicated to celebrating you and all of your accomplishments. We also have fun things like Exam Wind Down Week, and that picture is for one of our winter ones. And what they do, it's different activities, but that one was they had a hot cocoa bar, and so you made hot cocoa, but then you got to put different things inside of it, like marshmallows or chocolate chips or peppermint or different other fun things inside your hot chocolate as you're trying to gear up for those final exams. All right, take a little break from studying, do a little bit of arts and crafts, whatever, to kind of ease your mind. So we do a lot of things. We'd like to eat. The Spring Fling, that one was a Mardi Gras, and we provided food for lunch that day. This is Newton and Lovey. Dr. Honeycutt mentioned them, so you never know where they might appear. And then this one down here is a therapy dog that came during one of those exam wind down weeks because petting an animal releases stress in your body, and so You just kind of come and pet them and then go back to studying. All right, we already mentioned Skills USA. If you're in a program that is a Skills USA program, I definitely recommend that you get involved, join a team, compete, because you will be learning skills that you can put on your resume that is going to make you very employable to an employer. So, it helps you to jumpstart your career and all that kind of good stuff. Another resource we have on campus is career placement. So for some of you, if you're curious about, I don't really know what I want to do, then career placement is for you, because you can do career assessments to see what you want to do with your career, what program you need to study. But career placement is also there to help you find a job when you get close to finishing that degree. So, your last semester, you might want to reach out to career placement, ask for help on resumes or cover letters, practice interviewing. Interviewing is a very, very technical skill. So, like, how do you respond to questions? Things like that. We also have an annual career fair that you can attend, and our career placement coordinator is very heavily involved in Skills USA, since it is such a workplace activity. All right, so we have this thing at Nash Community College called a library. It's fantastic. There are books in there, and you can open them up and, not look at them through a computer screen. But our library is so much more than books. So we have study rooms that you can reserve. So if you're meeting with a study group and you need a quiet place to do a project or to study for a test, you can reserve a study room. We have a computer lab where if your program has specific programs that have to be downloaded but you don't have them on your computer at home, then our computers have it. We also have a laptop loaner program. So if you're taking online or virtual classes and you don't have a computer at home, then you can fill out a form to borrow a laptop for a semester to take your classes to help you be successful. If you are in a math or physics class and you need a scientific calculator, you can borrow one of those as well. Again, some of these are very expensive price tags that prevent students from being successful, so we want to be able to provide those resources to students. I mentioned earlier, don't skip NCC PR emails. This is where you find out where the fun stuff is. They send weekly campus calendars where you find out what the important dates are. If you scroll down, they have different information. So all of you have student email accounts. All of you probably got an NCC PR email this week already. If you didn't, it's probably in your promotions folder. But look at it and scroll down. We're going to have a lot of fun activities in August and mid-September. And so if you want to join us for our Nighthawks with the Mudcats game, we're going to participate. You can scan down that email, scan the QR code, buy discounted tickets, join us for a fun night of baseball on a Friday in August. It's going to be hot, but it'll be fun. It's August, so, but lots of fun things to do, and this is how you learn about them, is making sure you don't ignore your NCC PR emails. All right, first day matters. So a lot of you have your first classes beginning next week, and so you will show up for class, you'll get in a good habit of coming to class, but if your class doesn't start until the 29th, that first day is just as important. And if your class doesn't start until October, that first day is just as important. All right? You learn so much in the first week of school. Please make sure that you are attending class. And if you can't attend class, then make sure you're reaching out to your instructor if something were to happen. One thing that I forgot to mention when we discussed Moodle that I want to make sure I mention now. So if you have classes that begin on August 15th, your classes will show up in Moodle the morning of August 15th. If you log into Moodle right now, you will not see any of your classes, okay? They will not show up till August 15th. If you have a class that begins August 29th, that class is not going to show up in Moodle until August 29th, all right? So don't stress if you wake up on August 15th and pull up your Moodle and you only have 2 classes, but you know you registered for 4. Go into self-service, check the start dates, and see if they are late start classes, because I will bet that they are and that they will begin on August 29th. So I don't want you to stress about that. All right, so what does it mean to be a Nighthawk? It is helping to ensure that we are helping each other be successful. And so I'm going to play a short video about Blue Love, which Dr. Honeycutt mentioned briefly when he was here.
It's working together to help each other.
It's the feeling of community.
Providing support that encourages students to empower themselves personally and academically.
Having a lifetime impact on a student's life.
A spirit of commitment to helping others.
Helping students be successful in their academics and life goals.
It's going the extra mile to ensure student success.
Meeting students where they are and moving with them to meet their goals.
Having the resources available when the student needs them most.
It's a campus-wide nurturing and caring support system meant to encourage success.
Making everyone feel they are important, respected, and loved.
It's encouragement, inspiration, motivation, and support. Blue Love takes you to the next level. Blue Power to empower.
Blue Love takes you to the next level while serving the whole being among the Nash Nighthawk community.
So part of the Blue Love culture is just to make sure the whole student is being served. And that if there are barriers that are preventing you from being successful in college, then we try to help you overcome those barriers, connect you with resources, and so that you can be successful here at Nash Community College. All right, so our favorite part, one of our favorite parts of the year is graduation. All right, and so again, like I said, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to the graduation stage. The important part is that you get there and that you have completed your life or your educational goals that will then lead into your dream career, hopefully. So those are just some pictures from previous graduations. And, you know, we have the pop and circumstance with like the bottom pictures, but we also have electric line graduations when they graduate, or the nurses pinning or vet tech pinning. So we celebrate all graduates for wherever they are. All right, I'm going to leave this slide up for a minute for anyone who wants to take pictures, but these are some important contact information for you. So if you need help with advising, then there's an advising email. If you need help with financial aid, if you need to get in touch with a success coach and you're not really sure who yours is, if you need accessibility services or SWELL, those are just some email addresses that you can use. So I'll just let y'all take a minute to take some photos. All right. You're good. All right. So I'm by no means a influencer by any stretch of the imagination, but please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and I also need to include YouTube because this is going to be broadcast on YouTube. So follow us to learn more on different social media accounts. And a lot of our clubs have Facebook pages, so you know, if you become a member of a club, see if they have a Facebook page or Instagram and follow them as well. Important days to remember: you're already at open house, so you made it here. Good job. August 15th is the first day of the fall semester, so make sure you have everything that you need. And with that, are there any questions? Yes? Do you have to have a parking pass? You do not have to have a parking pass. I always recommend a parking pass. I had a parking pass in a previous car, and a student accidentally bumped into me, and the parking pass allowed the deputy to come and find me immediately to take care of that little incident. So I recommend parking passes. They're free. and you can get them in Building A at the Welcome Center. Any other questions? All right, well, if you have a personal question that just applies to you, I will hang around and answer it. But if not, thank y'all for coming and attending our new student orientation. I hope that each of you has a fantastic semester. And if you ever need anything, let us know. If you came in late and didn't sign in, please make sure you scan one of the QR codes at the end of the aisle so that you get credit for coming. Because by attending new student orientation, you'll be entered into one of 3 fabulous prizes. We're going to draw for free fall tuition, which is the first place prize. The second place prize is a $250 gift card to the campus store, and the third place prize is a $100 gift card to the campus store. So I think they're great prizes. I wish they'd had those when I was in college. It would have definitely helped out. So if you came in late, make sure you scan the QR code to be your name be put into the drawing. And if not, y'all have a great evening. Thank you for coming.